Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It's a historic ep. I mean, Kershaw 3,000 Ks happened. GMs and managers are getting fired. Shutout sweeps are happening. It's a big ep. All-stars are here. Yoho Pozo. Zack Wheeler.
Oh, shit.
You're out, unless you're Austin Hayes. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, code Talkin' 2025. Jake Storielli, Trevor Plouffe, Rob Scirocco. Molly's here, unsure on her last name right now. We'll cover that after the episode. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July. And you know what? I hope everyone had a great 5th of July and a 6th of July. And the 7th could be tough for some people. The Monday after the 4th, that can get you. Not here, coach, because baseball couldn't be hotter in the streets. Basically, every series has something juicy in it. There's a chance it's a 2-hour, 15-minute episode today. And if it was, I'd be happy I get to do it with a really good friend of mine, Trevor Plouffe. Trev?
We had some great moments this weekend. Impromptu FaceTime. I got to see Mama Storielli. Yeah, but you're right. Baseball's hot. I can't wait to talk about all-star snubs. Davey Martinez and Rizzo I can't wait to pick your brain about that because I find the Nationals organization fascinating. I truly, truly do. What they've gone through in the last 10 years has been incredible. I don't know, Jake. I think we should just get to it. Enough with the pleasantries. You look great today. You look like a young frat boy, and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, this hat was fitting me better a couple minutes ago, and now I don't know what's happening.
Are you losing weight or something? Why do you look so skinny in the face today?
No, I treated myself to a little ice cream. I was like, you know what? It was Sunday night. Post 4th of July, I'm doing this.
Okay.
Oh, let me check in on the Sunday night baseball game. Okay, Cardinals getting boat race. No, thank you.
Mason Wynn just wearing that interview.
It's
can I get out of here?
It's a tough sport. Trev, I mean, I barely even mentioned, and it's Monday, like the Tigers are dominant. The Houston Astros, they've been here. Now they're here. And boy, we're going to eat some Yankees tears later. I love Toronto.
Braves are dead.
Canada Day, I'm still celebrating. Let's do some American League Baseball, huh? I don't like you doing the stabbing motion. We're going out to the great Northwest because the beautiful Seattle Mariners, and I have another Jake family note. My Uncle Rick, big Pittsburgh Pirates fan, called him for a little bit yesterday. He said, I just want my Pirates to score a run. They did not. All weekend. Spoiler. They got shut piece by the Mariners throughout. Woo, Castillo, and Kirby. They ruined Skane's day. You can't ruin Cal Raleigh's 2-homer day, and it's a big, big fly. Trev's Ben Williamson. He's drawing comparisons to himself. Mariners get the 3-game sweep, 2-1-0 games to end it. The Twins, the Trevor Plouffe Bowl. The Twins take 2 out of 3 from the Rays. We're back, baby. Harrison Bader. Bad day to be a baseball or a young muse in Minnesota. Look at the way his hair is flowing. The pinch hit homer, it wasn't enough in that final game as the Rays salvaged the series with a 7-5 win. Joe Boyle is back up. Bill Simmons tweeting about him. That's some good stuff there. The Blue Jays sweep the Angels. Check out where they are in the standings. We try to keep it in the series. 2 extra inning walk-offs. Addison, how's your Barger? That guy doesn't stop. George Springer hasn't stopped. And Toronto, is it a W7? We're getting the standings coming up. Halos, they lose. They get swept. Yeah, we're back there. It's a little bit of a sweep week. The Tigers sweep the Guard Dogs. And oh my God, unfortunately, the story's kind of in Cleveland. L10, it's gotten dark there. Tigers, Casey Mize with another great performance. They shut him out in that second game. Zach McKinstry is a special player, ? Some really good base running to help secure the win. And this example was when times are good, they're good. when times are bad in baseball, they're so bad, and that's what Cleveland is feeling right now. The San Francisco Giants needed to win a series, and they do, against the A's. They lose the first one in a blowout. My guy Denzel Clark goes deep flying. We're going to check out another highlight of his later. But Logan Webb helps right the ship. Devers kind of needed a big game. He gets that in the final one. Giants take 2 out of 3. Who watched White Sox Rockies? Trev did. I did too, I watched one highlight, the Colson Montgomery catch. That was sick. Otherwise, I don't know. Shane Smith's an all-star. Mickey Moniak is having a great year. I don't know. White Sox took 2 out of 3. Who can your team trade for from both those teams? And most importantly, it's time for the Road Warriors, brought to you by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. And that is what the Houston Astros did. They swept the Dodgers, and it kind of got ugly. 18-1, 6-4 was the close game, and 5-1 on the final day. Christian Walker owns the Dodgers. He feels comfortable on the road there. Career 349, 1.197, 9 homers in his last 8 games against the Dodgers. Astros are 55-35, best record since June 1st. They're here, people. Astros get the sweep. That is what happened in the American League.
Love that for us. Love that for us, Coach. I have the standings in the American League. Do you need them?
Oh, yeah.
Like you need air.
Oh, yeah.
We're starting out east, Coach. Where? The Toronto Blue Jays are 52-38 on a 8-game winning streak, 9-1 in their last 10. They have a 3-game lead over the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays, who are both 49-41. The Boston Red Sox, 1 game over 5. Are they back? 6.5 games out. They're 46-45. And the Orioles, 40-49. Are they playing like better baseball recently? I think they are. Okay. AL East coming hot. The Central, the Tigers are running away with it. 13.5 games up. They're 57-34. The Twins, 43-47. The Royals, 43-48. Remember when the Central was like running the show in the AL, and I tweeted that awesome Led Zeppelin lyric? It's not happening anymore. Guardians on the L10, 40-48. White Sox, nice round number for them, 30-60. Oh. Thank you for that. Only 26.5 games out. We're fine. Out west, the Astros have a 7-game lead, 55-35 over the Mariners, who are 48-42. The Rangers creeping up, and then they're 4 games out of a wild card. 44-46 for them. The Angels, 43-46, and the Athletics, 37-55. Let's get to the wild card, Jake, where the Yankees and the Rays hold the top 2 spots. 1 game up on the Mariners, who are holding the last spot. The teams within contention. Let's see what I'll give. Okay. The Red Sox, 2.5 games out. Yes, you're in contention. The Rangers, 4 games. Yes, you're in contention. The rest of the teams, even though you're 4.5, 5.5 games out, Angels, Twins, Royals, am I giving you a shot at the wild card right now? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I should. Those are the standings in the American League. Let's get into it, Pop.
Trev, you're right about your Central. And yeah, I mean, like everyone else, I don't remember the Led Zeppelin tweet you're talking about, but
it was a banger.
I banged. Yeah, man, I don't know if any of them are going to kick into gear. And like the Royals have been missing for so long. I don't know. I don't even know what we should say about them. They're going to let their next 3 weeks or so decide as we head towards the trade deadline. Trev, there's so much to chew on that Mariners 3-game sweep, and they shut out the Pirates throughout. We're doing historic stuff here. I don't want to take away from the credit they deserve in this series because it's special stuff. I mean, 27 innings pitched, 12 hits, 0 runs, 36 Ks. All the credit in the world to the Mariners pitchers. Back-to-back 1-0 shutouts. There's a little Pirates asterisk here. Julio with a special play to take away from your guy Kutch, but this is Mariners ball.
I got a little on it. Pirates came in on a 6-game winning streak. They were scoring 7.1 runs per game. That was against the Cardinals and the Mets. So they're playing against good teams. Then, you just ran into an absolute buzzsaw. I've seen the Mariners a bunch this year, and like all their starters are just filthy. And the guys coming out of the bullpen we know they have the pitching.
Yeah.
And then, to win games like this is nice. Cal Raleigh, I asked Robbie to pull up his first homer. It's a 3-1 pitch from Bailey Falter. Holy shnikes. You got it, Rob?
It's the whole dumper.
It's loud. Oh.
It reminded me of when you take a golf swing and you feel your feet move, but you just destroy the ball. That's what that looked like.
It looked like a 3-1 middle-in pitch from a lefty to the guy leading the world in homers. That thing, I mean, what are we doing with that pitch? I know you're trying to crowd him. You
didn't. That
was extension.
I mean, that's close to getting out of T-Mobile. That's not.
He smacked that ball.
It's not a stadium to get
there's
out
all,
of.
You can go look up all the Cal Raleigh stats in the world right now about what he's doing to the baseball. It's pretty obvious that he's found a stroke. What else do I have on here? I wrote some stuff down. I don't know. I think you mentioned 12 hits in 27 innings. It's not like the Mariners didn't like dominate offensively. They only had 19 hits in 27 innings, but there were some big ones, some homers there. Randy doing his thing. Yeah, I mean, I guess snaps for the Mariners. And Pirates fans, you had a good little run there.
Hey, 6 games. That's tough. Uncle Rick was not happy. And I like when he's happy. Yeah, it's all Mariners set. Jake watches baseball. Look at that relay throw. I watched the end of the second game because, as you know, I went home this weekend. You FaceTimed me while I was at a brewery with my mom. You called her hot on the FaceTime, which I don't know.
Did she hear that?
No parties loved. Me, my new dad, Jim, or my mom. So 0 for 3. Okay. But yeah, I went home and it was that weird moment when you're home and you're like slightly uncomfortable and you're like, what do I watch? Does this TV work? I was like casting onto the TV. That I watched the end of the Mariners game. And Senor Smoke, we compliment those starters a lot. He deserves it. Matt Brash with the hitless 8th.
Brash. Oh my gosh.
And like you said, Trev, I mean, this AL race, we'll see if it actually heats up. But, early on this season, the Mariners have done enough that it looks like this is the year they should go dancing.
Well, okay. I mean, if you have their pitching staff, which it's been great. Bullpen, they found some excellent pieces in the back end there as well. Like if you add a guy like Cal Raleigh doing historic things, you should be in a playoff hunt. I mean,
right.
So, more contributions up and down the lineup will be very, very welcome. They go through streaks where they'll get, performances, can zone, or obviously Randy does his thing, but more consistent offense would be very nice for the Mariners. They're doing okay. Yeah,
it was interesting. They, I forget if it was on the broadcast, but they were talking, their third base is kind of a spot for them. Ben Williamson gets a big hit, but he's a young player that, I think they were talking about potential. Maybe I dreamt this, but they were talking about trading Ben Williamson for Eugenio Suarez. Maybe I definitely dreamt this, but it was funny to me because it went back to like an old day of trades where it's like, hey, if you're the Mariners trying to make a playoff run and you need a third baseman, well, why don't you give us the kid that plays third base and you get Suarez? I don't know if that would be a match or a fit or if that's even what Arizona would want. But it just took me back to a different day of trading when it was like, okay, you want a deadline guy? Well, give us that young third baseman. And that's just how like shit used to work.
Well, dude, I mean, GMs used to be cool. Now they're just like, meh.
We'll get to, get to that with Rizzo coming up.
Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, Mariners.
Whoa, double dip. Trev, I'm gonna jump on the board for you, and you'll see why in a second. But I want to go Astros Dodgers because I think they deserve to be talked about because the Astros. Pardon my French, if you're listening to with children, maybe turn the audio down for a second. This was a shit pumping. Yes. My God, the Astros 18-1 in that that first game, 5-1 in the second game. Zach Short, shout out to Shorty showing up in that final one. But it's Christian Walker, who loves playing in LA. My goodness. Altuve, Yainer Diaz has a big. This is what we've been saying. The Astros have been winning and getting first place mostly behind pitching, Paredes, and Pena. And they have more on that team, and it's happening right now.
Since June 1st, I got some stats up of Fangraphs right now, some team stats. Let's just go by F-WAR. Starting pitching since June 1st is 5th in all of baseball. The relievers are 1st in all of baseball, and their hitting is 4th in all of baseball. I mean, that's how you start to run off the streak that they're kind of on right now. Yeah, I think we reference this every time we talk about them. They're doing this without one of the best hitters in all of baseball who's on their team. And I'm just waiting for the late September return of Yordan Alvarez and just getting ready for the playoffs and people being like, oh shit, we forgot about this guy. Because again, what they're doing without him is really something special. So yeah, this was where was I on Friday? I think I was at my friend's backyard. It was 4th of July. Nice. And we're like, all right, let's watch this game. Let's turn on the Dodger game. And then all of a sudden we looked at what the score was like, holy crap, this got out of hand quickly. Just a phenomenal series for the Astros. And I guess if you're a Dodgers fan, you're just like, it is what it is, right? I think.
Yeah, you chalk it up for a weekend. Emmett Sheehan back on the big club.
He's back.
The Dodgers, I feel like they don't care about a lot. Jumping back, Josh Hader puts up a 1.1. He comes in for the final out of the inning, which that used to be a thing when he didn't have that contract in San Diego. And how good he has been this year. That's maybe one of my themes for today's episode is of just how distracted we get from the guys that are casually so good every year. Hader, Zack Wheeler. Somehow not on our pitching performance list. We're coming for you, Dalt. I don't know. Trev, I almost want to give us the pat on the back here because we've been doing the Astros dance for before they even got hot. Like they just fell into the division lead, and it was like, what? They're playing kind of bad.
I think what we said early on was, man, we always say they're inevitable. Does it feel the same this year? We're like, time will tell. Then we just kept looking at the standings, be like, okay, the Mariners are playing this incredible baseball to start the year, but the Astros are like 3 games back, and then they were 2 games back, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're up 7 in the division.
Shohei for clicks. He's back. 2 innings. Struck out the side.
Cam Smith for clicks.
Cam Smith is happening too, which could be interesting to see where that trade feels like in a couple years.
They have control of him for 5 more years after this.
Sign him to an extension.
286, 351, 435 for the 786 OPS. Guys, he's 22 years old.
You were kind of on Cam Smith first.
He's got a great swing.
Yeah, see?
It plays.
Clearly.
But we'll see. I don't want to give him so much credit. He's a rook.
That's another theme of today's app. We're going to keep some of the young guys in check.
Anything else we missed? I don't know. It's just an ass whooping.
There's so much. Yeah. Dude, every series has something that I want to give them their flowers. But speaking of giving out flowers, dude. Zach Short back and balling, man. 3 for 3. Why not? Trev, it's time to give the Blue Jays every flower we can find, baby. They sweep the Yanks. Canada Day, 4-gamer. Leads into 3 against the Halos, who, again, if we had recorded Friday, would have been more in the mix of that AL wildcard talk. Instead, the Blue Jays, winners of 8 straight. 8 straight? What's that, Jake? They're approaching Toronto all-star break records. 52 wins with 6 games remaining. Their record before the all-star break is 53 wins. 11-2 during their 16-game, 16-day stretch. Trev, I'll let you roll about them because I have some Jakey analytics here. We're winning on bunts.
Yeah, no, I mean, the bunt's a huge theme over the weekend, by the way. Shout out Brooksley, Minnesota. The Jays right now truly feel like a team. I think the next man mentality, like, that gets thrown around a ton. But when you're winning games and going on stretches like this, it's usually what's happening. It's not one or two guys getting the job done. It's like, hey, we need everybody up and down the lineup to get it done. And they've been doing that. Bottom lineup's been really good for them. At least getting on base, doing different things. You got guys like, Estrada and Fisher having, great relief appearances. And so you're getting that from the back end of the bullpen, or maybe the guys that aren't really necessarily like your stoppers. Like, the bullpen's been great for them. Have these guys show up as well. There was an instance like when Barger hit the walk-off base hit in that inning, George Springer lines out to second base. They walk Vladdy. Bichette strikes out. So 2 outs, and then Barger comes up and gets knocked. That's kind of like the next man up mentality. And I like him a lot. I love his swing, and he just looks good. Actually, was DMing Dave Popkins, the hitting coach there.
Wow.
He's a former Twins guy, and I liked him a lot. So when they let him go, I kept in touch with him, and I think he replied to me, WRC plus is God. And he's like saying we're having fun there. So like they're doing it, man. But if you go again, like up and down the line, like what they're getting, George Springer's having an incredible year. I think he's an all-star snub, right? He didn't make the team.
I don't think
he's meant so much.
Yeah. He's been their best hitter,
like the MVP of that team.
He's been their best hitter.
Yeah. He's meant so much to them. And then even if you look at their catching duo and the value they're getting out of Kirk and Heineman, like these are the things that make the Blue Jays now leading the AL East. Like, you have to have those contributions up and down. So it's been a lot of fun to watch them for sure.
Kirky hitting 301 on the year. Ernie Clement has been batting 400 for like a month. And you know what, Trev? I'm gonna Mark DeRosa this a little bit. The guy you're gonna supplant as Team USA manager. You know what I see when I'm looking out at this Blue Jays team that's different now? Confidence.
Yeah,
I think the confidence is back. This is a group of kids that they were promised the world, the movie thing, and all of that. They came into this year unsure again. Vladdy didn't have a contract. Like, they didn't know where they were going to stack up in the alleys. The Bo Bichette homer, Bob, I know I should have teed this up for you earlier.
Oh, that was awesome.
That is the old Blue Jays confidence when these kids came up and were filled with piss and vinegar, and their lineup was deep and nasty, and you had Gurriel and Teoscar, and the whole, like, it was the forming identity of these Blue Jays. I mean, that's who Bo Bichette is.
There's no better swing when he's right. Like, it's the prettiest swing in baseball when he's right. I love it so much. The side view swings of his are so good. Oh,
that 80 middle change isn't gonna work, Anderson. I don't know. I haven't seen. Again, if finishing my DeRosa speech, confidence in winning, man, dude. This Blue Jays team hasn't won like this in a long time. They were 16-20. Now they're 52-38. Quick math tells me that is 32-18. Nice, Jake. I always put myself in a bad spot with that. They're playing awesome, and yeah, I have my struggles with Blue Jay fans on the internet. They have their struggles with me, and that's fine. That's part of this.
you had a dust up, huh?
The real ones know, and Trev, you've heard me give this speech before. I've liked the Blue Jays. I love their veteran pitchers. Like, I've wanted this to work in Toronto. And the other sneaky secret on it that I revealed a little bit of the sauce on last year. Last year, their bullpen was ass. This year, their bullpen is not. Jeff Hoffman has been incredible for them, especially recently. Brandon Little. The Blue Jays are here, and they're very good.
Gossman and Lauer have been really good. Is this? I'm looking at our stat sheet. Ernie Clement is hitting 400 since the beginning of June. Is that real?
Dude, Ernie Clement is out of his dome right now. Some MFer named Ernie is messing up your team. He's awesome.
I thought I had something else to say, but I forget now.
Him and Barger. Trev, let's clean up a little bit. I don't want to say the scraps of the AL, but I do mean the AL Central because your Twins played, Bader put on a show, and then the Tigers sweep Cleveland, which again, Tigers deserve more and more flowers every episode, and we try to. In a way, they're becoming boring because how big is that division lead? 14?
It's had it up 14 and a half.
In Cleveland with a 10-game losing streak that I don't know, pa.
Easy, bro. It's 13 and a half over my Twins.
Sorry.
Where do you want to start? I'll go quick on Twins Rays.
Both of them. I'm good.
Okay, I don't know. Twins are such an up and down team. If they get any sort of like offense, like they can be pretty good. That's been their biggest thing, is their just lack of offensive consistency. So yeah, Bader had a really, really nice series. A walk-off homer. He tied it in the walk-off homer first game. Lee had a walk-off bunt, which I wanted to talk about because I texted him after. I said, dude, you know how fired up I get about bunts. And a walk-off bunt, holy shit. He said that he was down in the cage just in case it was going to happen. He goes, I worked on bunting so much in the cage just right before it happened. I was so nervous. I thought it might happen. He had never attempted a sacrifice bunt in college or pro ball. Never. Crazy. This is a guy who's not like a banger, dude. He's like kind of like utility infielder.
Yeah, I mean, he is a big.
That should be what you do.
He's like a legit prospect. Like he's
no. I'm not saying he's
pick.
not a good hitter. I'm saying he should have that tool in his bag, coach.
Trev, it's nuts.
His dad coached him at Cal Poly. He's a son of a fucking college baseball coach, and he didn't bunt in college or pro ball.
It's nuts that we're spending.
That's insane.
We're spending our lives playing
the bunt all over baseball just this weekend. Yeah. Nobody can defend it.
No.
Holy crap.
We're spending our lives playing baseball, and we can't take one day a month to get a couple bunts down. It's nuts.
The Twins messed it up too. There was a runner on second base in extras, and they go to sacrifice bunt. They bunt it right back to Topa. Brooks Lee, for some reason, he's playing second base, isn't covering first base. I think Clemens was playing first base. He charges. Nobody's at the bag. They zooed it. I'm telling people, I've been saying this for a year now. Just bunt. Nobody can fucking defend it, dude.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
That's all I got.
You're not wrong.
Tigers. I had Tigers. I want to show the McKinstry base running. Do we have that?
Please.
Because that was awesome.
That was game changing.
Neither of these teams hit.
Right.
In regulation, how many runs were scored?
Oh, wow.
In regulation, because it was 2-1, 1-0 first two games. Then I believe it was 1-1.
Correct.
After regulation in the last game. And then they scored 6 there.
Quick math would be 6 runs scored by both teams in regulation.
Yeah,
in 3 games.
So great job by the pitching. But the McKinstry thing, this is why the Tigers are different this year, because they're doing stuff like this. So McKinstry comes in to pinch run for Torkelson, steals second base against Class A. You know, relievers don't care about guys stealing second base, but they should.
They should.
Steals second base, then he gets to third, and just has an excellent read on a ball that gets past Bo Naylor, gets underneath him. And as soon as he sees like Bo kind of like look down and be like, I don't know where it's at, he was gone. And then Class A didn't really cover. And it was such a, I feel like I've seen the Tigers do stuff like this all year long this was to tie the game to force extras. Like it's winning baseball.
And it's, on the replay, McKinstry actually has the best angle at it.
He's got a great angle, yeah.
The way he's taking the lead off of third, you can see the ball trickling away through Naylor, through the umpire. It ended up in no man's land. And that's what, looking around baseball this weekend, and whether it was the Astros, whether it was the Blue Jays, whether it was Detroit, even, the Mets embarrassing the Yankees, like the good teams they are putting themselves in good positions to win, like Zach McKinstry stealing that base and him being the base runner instead of a real plopper on the bases. It can be the difference that would have been a 1-0 win to end a 9-game losing streak. Instead, you go back to the showers with a 10-game losing streak after you give up 6 runs in the 10th. Like, I don't know. Tigers are good. I mean, dude, in that first game, when you and I come back to the Jimmies and the Joes, because that's what we know, dude, Zach McKinstry and Wenzel Perez with the homers to win that game 2-1. Like, and Scooble is just on God right now. I don't know if we've seen a pitcher like this in a while. Like, is this DeGrom level?
You know, every time we say Scooble's the best pitcher in baseball, I'm like, what about Zack Wheeler too? I don't mean to take away from Scooble. It's like they're on. I don't know. There's a lot of good pitching right now. That's what I feel like. There's some guys that are just dominating. But Scooble is so fun to watch. Tigers getting healthy. Reese Olson back.
Right.
First start since May 17th. They're good, man. They are.
What were you saying about Chase Dollander before? You like him?
My guy. Yeah,
okay, you're in.
We're gonna deep dive. Oh, we didn't cover that series?
We didn't. You've got 30 seconds.
Shout out the Giants for going in, taking 2 out of 3. I think that's really cool for Sacramento to have both those teams play, A's and Giants. I saw a note that Logan Webb had played there in high school in AAA and now the big leagues at Sutter Park, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Looked like a lot of Giants fans, at least the parts of the game that I watched. I don't know. I thought I had a great time there in Sacramento, by the way. I don't know, if people are what people are saying. Thought it was great.
I'd like to get out there. It doesn't feel like it's happening this year, but it looks like a good time. In San Francisco, hey, 4 out of 5. Willie Adames with a couple big games.
Adames coming back, looking good. They need that. They're in the wild card right now.
Oh, little standings preview coming up. And Trev, I think I'm starting a new segment that'll come up in the next part of the show. I think it's just going to be a weekly who had the better catch, Denzel Clark or PCA.
I like
because
that.
They both rolled another pair out there. Let's get into some Bundesliga, the National League. We play for rings in the desert, but maybe not this year. 2 teams that have kind of been the definition of mid, the Royals and the Snakes. Royals take 2 out of 3. Vinny P, 2-homer day to get it started. Snakes took that second game, but Michael Lorenzen with 7 shut piece. And there's not much better than watching Big Salvi still turn on a ball. Royals take 2 out of 3. Hey, you saw where those Red Sox were in the standings. It's because they swept the Nationals and they swept the GM and the manager out of town. Lucas Giolito, 7.21 earned run. I think he's won 4 or 5 in a row. My goodness. Trevor Story, Rafaela continues. And don't put a lefty against Rob Refsnyder. What is you doing, baby? The Red Sox, they get a sweep. They are in the mix. The Phillies take 2 out of 3 from the Reds. The Reds took that first game. Offense went big to help bail out Andrew Abbott in one of his rare bad starts of the year. But the rest of the series was the Phillies held the Reds to 1 run in each game behind Ranger Suarez and a complete game 1 earned run from Wheeler. Stott turns on 1. Schwarbs turns on 1. Phillies take the series. The Chicago Cubs, they take 2 out of 3 from St. Louis. The 2 games they scored 11 runs. Those are the games they won, including Matt Boyd with 5 shutout. He's going to the All-Star game. What a signing he has been for them. It's the guys you know on the Cubs. It's PCA. It's Seiya Suzuki. He's on the snub list right now. Michael Busch, I have a whole speech prepared on him later. But Yohel Pozo, couldn't stop him in game 2. As the Cubs get 2 out of 3. Mets take 2 out of 3 in the Subway Series from my Yankees. They take the first two. Jeff McNeil squirrels one out late to take it. The Yanks squirrel the ball all over the field. The bad defense. Yankees are back, everyone. Buckle up. Yanks salvage it on the final day. Max Fried gets it done, and Cody Bellinger, a massive defensive play to help save that one. Padres take 2 out of 3 from the Texas Rangers. Kumar Rocker, Randy Vasquez, where were you for it? Cronenworth with the walk-off RBI. Could have got pinch hit earlier. He did not. Texas takes that second game. San Diego, a little bullpen day. Patchwork gets it done in that final game. Luis Ariz, 2 for 4. Kirkagin, Trev does his impression of him later. Brewers take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. Chad Patrick, another solid start in the loss. He gets sent down because Brandon Woodruff is back in a big way. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 8 Ks. How's your rehab? Caleb Durbin, short kinging around the field. You know that does something for me. And do we have to talk some Baltimore Orioles? They sweep the Braves. DED dead. The Charlie Morton Revenge Series. Orioles take the second one in extras as Laser Ramon and Jacob Stallings help get it done for the Birds. Jackson Holiday, 2-run homer is the difference in that final game. And boy, the Orioles? That's what happened in the National League. Trev, stand me.
I'm just looking at the Orioles. They went 16-11 in June, kind of like quietly.
I'm not looking and I'm liking, but I'm not looking and I'm hating.
Okay. Do you want the standings for the National League, Pop?
Yes.
In the NL East, the Philadelphia Phillies have a 1.5 game lead over the New York Mets. Phillies 53-37, Mets 52-39. The Marlins 40-48, Braves, they're dead. That's who I was stabbing. 39-50, they're 13.5 games out of the division, 9 games back of a wild card. I'm sorry, dude. It just does not seem like it's going to happen. 37-53 for the Nats. Can't wait to talk about them. The Chicago Cubs opening up that division lead a little bit. They're 4 games up now, 54-36 for them. They're besting the Brewers, who are 50-40. The Cardinals 48-43, the Reds 46-44, and the Pirates 38-53. And then out west, Dodgers, very comfortable lead. Doesn't matter that they got swept. They're still up 7 games, 56-35 for them. The Padres and Giants, same games back, 48-41 for the Padres, 49-42 for the Giants. And then the Diamondbacks, I think they gotta sell, Jake. I think it's appropriate for them. They're 44-46. They're 11.5 games out of the division. The Rockies, 21 wins, but Jake, 69 losses. Nice. In the wild card in the National League, the Mets and the Brewers have the top 2 spots, with the Padres. I guess they're up. Even though they're tied with the Giants, I don't know. They're tied for the last spot. I don't know how they do that. Okay, but a lot of teams in contention still. The Cardinals only 1 game back of a wild card spot. The Reds only 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. I said the Diamondbacks need to sell. They're 4.5 games out. I think it's right though. I think they should do that. And then nobody really after that. The Marlins 7.5. Braves, as I mentioned, 9. Those are the standings in the National League.
Trev, nobody does it better than you. Maybe Shady Rays, because summer is here, people. So get yourself a pair of sunglasses and do it with Shady Rays, the independent sunglasses company with over 5 stars. 5 stars actually, by over 300,000 people. They've got their lost and broken replacement guarantee. So if you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. And they offer one of our best deals. Code TALKIN, 35% off. Get your next pair of polarized sunglasses with code TALKIN at shadyrays.com. They've been with us for a while. They're a huge part of our warehouse games. They've got a ton of sunglasses, and it's sun season, people. So go get yourself a pair. shadyrays.com, code TALKIN, 35% off. In the National League, Trev, hey, it might be the last time we really talk about them, and you're interested. Maybe we just do some Nats, and hey, it's it's Red Sox snaps. Like I said, with our guy Lucas Giolito.
Yeah, he's running off some good starts.
Won his 5th decision in a row, 32.2 innings pitched, a 0.83 ERA. Happy for the big man. Obviously was a part of Chris Rowe's rotation, and you've known him for a while from the Cali area. And he openly talked about how it was weird last year because he was like, a guy getting a big check on the Red Sox and not able to help. He is now helping. Roman Anthony with some highlights. Trevor Story. The story is the Nationals, and I'm interested to see how much this has piqued your interest on the Rizzo and Davey Martinez firings.
It's just so interesting because they have been a franchise that's had some incredible highs. They went through a rebuild that went about as good as it can go. Now, you can't do what they did anymore. I mean, they tanked and had a bunch of number 1 picks, and they got, was it Strasburg and Harper back-to-back years. That's pretty good.
Helps.
But they also signed Anthony Rendon. I think he was a high pick as well. Wasn't the 1 pick. I think he was like a 6th overall or something like that. He worked out well there. They trade for Trey Turner. So all these things are under Mike Rizzo. They sign Juan Soto. They bring him up. Like, all these things are happening. They win the World Series in 2019. And then after that, it's just gone so poorly for them. With the caveat that they crushed it in the Juan Soto trade, which is also a Mike Rizzo thing. So it's like, it's gone poorly, but they've made some good moves. The thing that's changed between the heyday and now is they just haven't hit on their draft picks.
Right.
Like that's basically it. They've done well in the trade department, but I guess they're like kind of like 1-1 in my opinion in the trade department, because you trade Scherzer and Turner to the Dodgers and you get Josiah Gray and KB Ruiz. Like, that hasn't really worked out for them. But the Juan Soto trade is a banger. They crushed that, and I think it's interesting. Usually I don't care about manager firings, but this one piqued my interest because of what Dave Martinez said, like a month ago?
Right.
It's never on the coaches. It's never on the coaches. And I think it's a little out of context maybe, or maybe he didn't exactly mean to say that. And he was just trying to reference like, hey, like, players need to play better. Like, they're the ones on the field. I understand that. He obviously played in the big leagues for a long time. He should know that better than anyone. You just can't come out and say that. That's a horrible quote. And you're going to lose some guys in the clubhouse because it's supposed to be, no, it's us as not just as a team and a roster, but organizationally, it's us together. That's the way you're supposed to talk about wins and losses. You win together as a team, you lose together as a team, but you have your manager coming out and saying that's can't be great. So I think if you're ownership and you're like, okay, you guys have kind of run your course. I think Rizzo's been there since 2009. So like, he had a nice little run there. I think they're seeing this core, the James Wood, the CJ Abrams and the likes of them coming up, Cruz and Hassel. I think they're seeing them come up, and I think they're wanting a different voice around them, as we haven't really seen the wins come like maybe we thought they would come. I think a lot of people are really pointing to next year, but you can't keep doing that.
Right.
You can't always keep pointing to next year. So I don't know. I was interested in it. I thought these guys have done some really, really great things for that organization, but there does come a time where I do feel like there needs to be a new voice. And this is, in my opinion, I think the time for it.
Yeah, I mean, Davey Martinez, I'll start there. I mean, that quote recently, obviously, that now everyone turns their head just a little more because you're like, all right, what was going on? But, they haven't had a winning record since 2019, since they won the World Series. Like, Dave Martinez's record as a manager is 500 and 622. So, like, a 446 win percentage. So, I don't know. I guess things do get a lot more interesting with the GM part of it. And hey, Dave Martinez, like, he's had some awesome press conferences. Like, he's a baseball lifer that he's going to have next steps. And, I never know. I was watching some MLB Network last night, and your guy Yonder Alonso. I like Yonder. Sometimes he lays it on a little too, like, generic. Like he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if Davey Martinez and Rizzo are taking calls right now for jobs. And I was like, it's maybe, also maybe not.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think Davey Martinez is going to collect his check for the rest of the season, go fishing.
Can I tell you another good thing that I looked up in the moment, Trev? And this is just lame. You got Yonder by homers, 106 to 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was thinking, Yonder.
I love Yonder. I'm not
Yonder, thick first baseman. He's got a couple nice seasons there, but you had the long game.
One of my favorite nights ever in the big leagues was with Yonder Alonso in Miami. I mean, Mr. 305, baby.
I'd would have liked to be there. So I don't know. Firing Dave Martinez, it is what it is. He doesn't honestly have a lot of ammo since 2019.
Was I smoking cigarettes at the Fountain Blue and then threw up in my hotel room later that night? Yes.
Like that a lot. Okay, now I really wish I was there. Rizzo gets interesting because he's known as, I don't want to say one of the less analytical guys, but he still like believes in scouting and ball players and stuff. And you're right. Like he does have a Steven Strasburg, Bryce Harper, Rendon, Lucas Giolito, Eric Fetty. Like there was a run from 2009 to 2014 with his first round picks. That's pretty strong. Since then, Dane Dunning, we're not sure which hand he's thrown with. Seth Romero, Dina Berg, Jackson Rutledge, Cade Cavalli, Brady House, Elijah Green, Dylan Cruz. So we're starting to get into some guys that let's see, and maybe
I just got an Instagram video about Elijah Green last night. That's where my algorithm is. He sent him back down the rookie ball. He struck out over 40% of the time in his minor league at bats. Like, yeah, you're not going to hit on every draft pick. It's a crapshoot, but to go from where they were to now where they're at, I wonder what it is. What's the difference? Is it just luck?
It's probably a mix, and it's everything we talk. It's why when a pitcher signs with, Tampa or LA or the Guardians or the Mets, we get excited. Like, has there been any player that signed with the Nationals and we're like, oh, get ready for this? Like, no, they currently don't have that. So organizationally, I don't know what that is. But Trev, the thing that I jumped back to was like, okay, right now they're last in the NL East, which I don't think the Nationals expected that this year. But for us, I remember when we did the team profile and projections this year, and you and I got to the Nationals, and we were kind of psyched. Like, you get through some of the, for lack of a better term, rubbish teams. Like, okay, what can I really say about the Marlins or the Rockies this year? And by the way, the Marlins are, above them in the standings. The Rockies, we actually, we're like, hey, they got a lot of young guys you can kind of get excited about. After the core of the Soto trade, essentially, and the Nathaniel Lowe, Trev, when we did the TPP, we laughed the whole time because we were like, I thought we were going to be juiced about these guys. I thought these were going to be sneaky NL wildcard. And when we looked at the depth of the roster, there wasn't much there for us. And I guess that's where I'm at right now, that when I look at the second half of the Nats lineup, when I look at where their pitching staff is, the way they quote unquote won that Soto trade with this young talent they've accrued, there's really nothing else around it. That I think that's what they're looking at. And the other thing that listening to MLB Network, John Morosi, who I've never like really crossed the bridge with, and this is a little Jakey stuff. I don't know if it was the camera angle or if he's got a summer tan going. Morosi was looking good. Like normally I have him pretty deep in John. Like the nerd bucket. He had a nice glow to him. He was kind of, anyways, his information that he was bringing, that's the reason he's employed. He said this was unique from the perspective of the draft is a week away. Yeah. So who's going to be calling the shots, running the draft? Like, that's very unique. But he also said that I think after the All-Star game, Davey and Mike Rizzo had options for 2026 either kick in or come into play or something like that.
I think they had to make a decision by mid-July.
So that's what ended up forcing their hand.
Can I say this?
Please.
I'll go a little Yonder on you.
Nice.
Again, shout out Yonder, my guy.
I like Yonder, by the way. But sometimes it's like, Yonder, give me the real stuff. Like, you don't have to.
Do you know what I respect about Yonder?
Okay.
And this is going to be my new thing.
His suits.
This is so stupid that I'm even talking about this. You know, everybody wears like a suit with like shoes now.
Oh, yeah,
Yonder's still rocking dress shoes.
Nice.
Yes, Yonder.
I'm with you.
Yes.
If you're going to do that, wear the shoes.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I think Rizzo and Martinez taking call. I think the Nationals are taking calls. Like, I think there's going to be people lining up. Like, this has got to be one of the most, I think, favorable spots to land. If you're looking to become a first-time GM, like, this is the job that you want. You have that young core. Now, ownership, it's a big market. They have money. They've spent before, but they're also like kind of actively seeing if they're going to sell the team. So what does that mean as far as like future commitments to payroll? It should mean nothing. Right. It's not going to be your money when you leave, right? Like, so I think big market. I think the ability to, have a payroll. They've done it before. Hopefully they, I think they can be convinced to do it again for the right people. And again, like you already have this core. You're getting another, what will be a top prospect in the number 1 overall pick. You're going to be in the draft lottery again following this year. I think this is a job that if you're an AGM somewhere, or even if you're having an expiring contract, I think you're like back channeling, like, how do I get an interview? This is the job for me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. You're right. Everything there is accurate. Like, it, in a way, for the opportunity you're going to get offered as a GM, this has a lot of chips on the table between current guys, prospects, and having a little bit of a bankroll to be able to throw elbows around. I guess for me, I'm just starting to get nervous because, I don't know, I kind of thought the Nationals were going to be next year's team, and now it feels like that's going to roll over again. And then what happens next year? And then, I don't know. It's when we look around baseball and even these teams that are supposed to come to fruition, looking at the Orioles and things like that, like, it doesn't happen until it happens. I know that's some Yogi Jake shit, but like, I don't know, when is CJ Abrams going to start looking at like a new contract? Like, I know we're not there yet, but what if next year's not the year and CJ Abrams gets one more year closer to free agency? Like, I don't know. It is in a way a very appealing job to a new GM, but also, the East is tough. Like Mets, Phillies, Braves, that can change really quickly. And I do think we've never seen a free agent pitcher or player go to the Nats and we're like, yes. It's just kind of like, okay.
Well, Scherzer.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, how long ago was that?
A while ago.
I mean, I guess I was doing that in the player development front.
They haven't done something like that since the World Series.
So yeah, interested to see the next steps there. Hey, good job, Red Sox, burying them. I'm burying you. My guy Rafaela. I mean, Trev, where do we do Yankees Mets now?
I think we kind of got to run through these quicker. If you want to get your Yankees Mets in, Cody Bellinger saved the season according to Jimmy.
So again, this is where the internet is at. Jimmy tweeted that facetiously, and people are taking it real.
Nice catch.
It was a great play, but Yankees fans are horrified. Horrified, Trev. This has now been 3 summers in a row that summer has hit, and they've just like lost their marbles. Some of the defensive lapses are horrific, mental and physical. That coming off the World Series, the excitement was, okay, Soto's out, but this lineup is deep. They were getting some of the best contributions from the bottom 3 in their lineup. They are now not getting that. And the other thing was they were playing sound defense. Judge moved to right. We've got center fielders now. Jazz was at second. Jazz is playing third, and he is not a third baseman. And that's okay. Because it's a really hard position to play. Ask me and Trev. And now Volpe is going through an offensive slump that I think is leading to a defensive slump. And now DJ's at second base, and he is not moving like a 33-year-old DJ LeMahieu. He's moving like a 36-year-old DJ LeMahieu. Some of the relay throws are not even baseball. So the Yankees are doing the scary baseball stuff. And, dude, their press conferences as a fan are a nightmare. We think we're the best team. Awesome. You're not, and you're playing horrible.
You don't want to have your guys confident in saying that?
They're doing half of the press conference.
We stink right now.
Half of the press
you don't
conference.
want that either.
Half of the press conference is, hey, it's baseball. It's a long season. We got to go get them tomorrow. They're missing the first half where it's like, yeah, that's bad baseball and we can't be doing that. They don't say that part, and it's absurd.
Yeah. It does seem a little like, hey, all the things that you guys were terrified of last year are kind of happening again. Yeah.
Back.
On the Mets side, Robbie, can you check when Sean Manaea is coming back?
Oh, you love Sean
because
Manaea.
The starting pitchers in this series for the Mets, as they won, Justin Hagenman, don't have him in my book. Okay, Frankie Montas, third start back, whatever, that's great. And then they had an opener in the last game. The Mets are also kind of going through a little mid-summer slump right here. And Manaea seems like the perfect guy to clean that up. Do we have any update?
Yeah, Manaea is scheduled for one more minor league rehab start on Tuesday, and if that goes well, he could be activated by Friday. Get
his ass one more minor league start, and why? Get his ass to the big leagues.
Manaea and I think Senga is on a timeline. So yeah, the Mets were playing horrific baseball. After winning the second game, I think they won 4 in a row. So let's see where that takes them. They're finishing with a little roadie, Baltimore and Kansas City.
Jeff McNeil with an absolute pump in that series, by the way.
Yeah, I mean a game-winning pump. That again, it's the beauty and scary part of baseball. That if Luke Weaver looked like Luke Weaver did pre-injury, we're probably talking about the Yanks taking 2 out of 3. But instead, we're not.
Why was he in there? Just
Weaver,
high leverage.
Dude, the Yankees pitching is now thin. So the Yankees have offensive options. Even on a given day, there's 2 guys on the bench that can hit. So that's good. Here's McNeil pumping Weaver.
Yeah, he knew it, and that's a fun one right there.
Yeah. Subway Series, take the lead in
I think I'm like super into Jeff McNeil. I've been on the fence for a while. I think I'm in. I don't know. I don't know him at all.
He's a dog. His post-game interview, he was full golf outfit on the 4th of July, which I kind of liked. Like, is Jeff McNeil going straight ballpark to hit balls? Is he going to the barbecue?
I probably would not hang out with him off the field, but I like the way he plays baseball. Just get him out of the outfield.
And the other, welcome to Talking Yanks. Clark Schmidt, Tommy John. So the Yankees pitching was a need at the deadline. It has now multiplied. Obviously every team has a big deadline. The Yankees need a lot, and if they don't get a lot, the Blue Jays have arrived. Tampa's been really good for a while. Boston is nowhere near dead. The Orioles are playing a better brand of baseball that you got to be careful, because right now teams are playing the Yankees and they smell the blood in the water, and the Yankees smell their own blood. That one play goes wrong and everyone starts looking around a little wide-eyed. Interesting final week coming up for them. Golly, Trev. Snakes Royals, a bit of a mid-off. I have some Phillies stuff coming up.
Reds Phillies is awesome. You're going to talk about one of the guys there. I wanted to shout out Bryson Stott. I don't know. I just feel like he's got some incredible moments for the Phillies there. A great go-ahead homer there in the last game to allow your guy to go back out there. I think that was really cool. Here it is. Whack.
Some guys just make it look prettier. Like I know Bryson Stott is not a power hitter, but that's just a beautiful homa.
Chase Burns with a better, like a kind of bounce back start after people thought he was tipping his pitches against the Red Sox. I don't know if we talked about that. I don't think he was. I think Duran was saying something. I think he saw a little bit. There was like a speed up on the off speed, like just a little quicker with everything, and then like a little more rhythmic and slower on his fastball. But I think it was like a little bit of that. Maybe a few guys were like, okay, I can see it, and then he also was just leaving stuff over the plate. But a nice kind of bounce back start here. He goes 4 2/3, only 1 earned run, 7 Ks. Like he's nasty.
To make it full circle, your guy, Yonder Alonso, was also like, I don't think he was tipping. I think it was just bad pitches.
There was, I was watching, I went back and checked it out. Like you could see on, a handful of his breaking pitches, the sliders, that he was just quicker, but again, not everyone is, keen to picking that up. Like there are guys that are good at it and guys that aren't, guys that want it, guys that don't want it. So it's, I don't know. It's day by day. People think like, oh, you got a tip for sure, you're going to get a knock. It's like, no, dude. Like a lot of times you're like looking at the picture, like, am I seeing that? Huh? Okay. Fuck it. I'll try.
I think so.
Yeah. It's not like cut and clear. Like most of the time, like that happens very few and far between for that. Most of the time it's like, oh shit, should I try it or not?
Trevor, I mean, the Cubbies are still dominant. I have more on them later, but it feels weird to pass up on them because it's so impressive.
Dominance by the Cubs. I think this is a great litmus test for them. And if you're the Cardinals, you had been kind of running up the standings a little bit there, kind of running into a speed bump here. I think the Cubs asserted a little bit of dominance in the division with this series. A couple of 11-run Johnnies. I did not. Excuse me. I didn't know Seiya Suzuki was doing it like this.
Yes.
It's just been so methodical, dude. 75 runs driven in already.
Crazy. All-star
snub, 23 homers and 75 runs driven in is insane, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing them tomorrow, man. I'm flying in tomorrow. I'll be there to see all my Cubs guys. I'm very excited about that. But they look like Michael Busch looks incredible right now. They look like one of the most formidable lineups in baseball.
I have a little more Michael Busch coming up because we get distracted by the whole outfield, the DH, the shortstop, the second baseman, what Carson Kelly did in the first month. What Michael Busch is doing this year is insane. Arguably the best first baseman in baseball.
If you didn't watch Sunday Night Baseball yesterday, they had Mason Wynn on, mic'd up, and they were just getting shellacked. And there was at one point they had a pitching change. And I'm sure he thought it was all right, I'm done now. And our guy Carl Ravitch is like, and we'll have more with Mason Wynn after we get back from this pitching change. He's got to be like, damn it.
Are you sure, Carl?
Yeah.
Why don't we just
not be on there when my pitchers are just getting shellacked around?
Why don't we just stay at the break? Golly, Trev, there's so much. I'm just going to say a couple names that I deserve to be said. Charlie Morton back. Trevor Rogers. That was one of their impact moves. He's been hurt. He's been back and pitching really well. 6.2 shut piece in that one.
Baltimore 22-12 since the beginning of June. Excuse me. No, I had that totally wrong. 19-13 since the beginning of June.
Okay.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. That's pretty.
That's almost a 600 winning percentage, people.
And yeah, just a final reminder. If you look up best pitchers since 2020, you'd be shocked at how high up on the ERA leaderboard you'll find Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah.
And he is back for Milwaukee. Who, again, another casual 2 out of 3 from them. Chirrio picking up some steam after he's got some weird splits right now. Interested to see his second half. And if you remember last year, he had a massive second half. So is he a second half guy? We'll find out more on that. My guy Kyle Higashioka had a monster game in the middle of that Padres series too.
You might hear about him later, not in a positive way.
Oh,
Damn.
Go Padres, go! I follow this one guy.
Oh,
It's a, and I apologize.
can't wait to see who this is.
I think it's like Padres blogger. Is that what it is?
We've got a head nod from our second resident Padres fan.
Padres blogger. And this guy goes nuts. If the Padres stink, I think he's got like young kids, so he wants to go like sound off. He like has to run to his garage and just start screaming.
Nice.
I don't know. I like his content. I think it's funny. So him and I go back and forth quite a bit about the Padres on all Instagram.
Well,
Padres fans are crazy.
Padres fans
that's
are a
my
little
roundabout
crazy.
way of saying it. Like
Padres
the
fans-
guys that I know, Molly. I don't know Molly that well.
Right.
Gonna get to know you probably when we come to the warehouse.
Right.
Ryan Cohen and Padres blogger, absolutely insane. Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Cohen is one of the biggest gap between actual human and baseball fan representation that I've seen. Like, he's one of the sweetest guys in the world, but if there's a Padres-Dodgers game, like, it gets real. Like, Anyways, let's go to standout performances that are brought to us by Skims. We're not skimming through this part of the season. This is the final juice, and you shouldn't be skimping out on your underwear. Go get some Skims, the brand known for revolutionizing shapewear. They have men's underwear that's going to change your daily routine. 3 distinct fabric blends, each designed for your needs. Cotton blend lasts longer every day. Stretch fabric gives you that perfect fit that moves with you. And for our fitness people, the sport fabric. You know that's where I live. Shop Skims, the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and USA Basketball at skims.com. Let them know we sent you after you place your order. Select podcasts in the survey. Select our show in the drop-down menu that follows Skims.
It's time for Standout Performances.
Standout Performances.
This guy stood out for Trev.
Say what?
How come it just says this guy stood up for Trev?
Because you're the star. I don't know what you want to hear.
What are we doing
I'm
here?
just the conduit.
Agreed.
I'm just the conduit.
I'm going with Sedan Rafaela. On Sunday, he goes 3 for 4, a double, a homer, 2 runs scored. So like nice game, but more I wanted to talk about like kind of what he's been doing offensively over the last month or so. It's been incredible. We're talking about a guy who's could easily win a gold glove, platinum glove out there in the outfield with what he does. He hasn't won one yet, has he? No, he hasn't. Okay. Definitely in the future for him because he goes and absolutely gets the ball. Last 28 days, Jake. I want to read his slash line. 313, 337 with a 614 slug. A 952 OPS over his last 28 days. This, again, coming from a guy who's like not really known as a hitter. He's more of a defender, but things are all coming into play or into place for him. It's been, obviously great to see, but for the Red Sox, like it's kind of like coincided, like they're kind of getting back a little bit back into the swing of things here. Like, I don't think you can discount them from making a run and getting into the playoffs. I still think that can happen. And Robbie, can you get their record since the Devers trade for me, please?
Okay.
Because I think it's pretty good.
Well, they have been volatile.
They have been volatile, yes.
They had a 6-game loser in there. The offense didn't get started. Now they're going again.
46 and 45 right now on June 15th. Okay, they're 500. Sometimes the numbers don't back up what you think, okay? And that's fine. But today's been awesome to watch. I wanted to shout him out. The offense is obviously a very welcome sight for the Red Sox. We're right in the thick of it.
They're involved, man, and they're going to be. I can sense it in my bones. I've watched enough of this. And And I love him, man. He's an absolute electrician. For my standout, I talked about Bader's hair a lot. Again, Higgy, Zach Short showed up. I don't know. I was craving the pitchers today. I could have had my pick in Seattle. It's Scooble every week. I'm going Zack Wheeler, Trev, because the complete game is just different. It hits different these days. 9 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 12 Ks. 1 batter above the minimum. Austin Hayes got him. Clipped one to right center. Pretty swing. Revenge game for Austin Hayes. People forget. That's it. Otherwise, you got out. And it's the whole Zack Wheeler conversation that we run through, I'd say, every month. And it's just like, here he is again as the second best. Every year, he's the second best pitcher in the National League, and Logan Webb is the third best pitcher. This could have been Logan Webb as the standout performer. It's Zack Wheeler. Again, pitcher WAR sometimes gets weird, but 4.8 WAR right now. A 2.17 ERA in 18 games started. He leads the National League in strikeouts, in WHIP, and it's some different form of dominant from him. That's 1 hitter away from a perfect game. And the Philly crowd was going nuts. Like, it is the perfect combination of whatever energy he brings on the mound of boring dominance and the crazy Philly fans. And when he's pitching in a Philly day game, like, don't even show up. He's one of the best players in the game. Trev, I had a late night, like, Hall of Fame? 40 career WAR. He'd have to keep going, but in a way, he announced his retirement. I know, he pre-retired because he doesn't care. I don't know, man. The numbers that I'm going to get into when I have a boring moment in the next couple days, what he's done from age 31 to 35, I don't know how many pitchers have done that as he continues to roll this year. He's been so good. So good.
They always talk about like 7-year peaks for Hall of Fame. Right. Like he's got a pretty dang good 7-year peak here.
And he's still peaking.
Yeah. He's maybe hasn't even reached it.
If I get to see, because when did he say he's retiring after 2027?
Yeah, he's got a couple more years left in his contract, then he's out.
If I see Zack Wheeler in the next couple years, which that would suck for Zack Wheeler, I'm going to tell him, hey, dude, do the Roger Clemens, Andy Pettitte. Like, I need so much more of that. Like, Zack Wheeler's going to have more in the tank. He just doesn't want to be on the road every day, and I get that. Come join the team in July. We're good, man.
Just only fly in for your games.
Like, who
That's
says
such
no?
A power move.
Who
That's
says
such a
no?
power move.
Not me.
By the way, Roger Clemens, don't know him. His son, Cody Clemens, awesome.
Okay, that's good.
Awesome.
That's good to hear.
I was reading like some post-game quotes after that Wheeler start, and Bryson Stott hits the 2-run homer. Topper goes in to find Wheeler and says, "Hey, can you go back out there?" And then when he came out, I guess the roar of the crowd was, you mentioned, it was so big that they couldn't hear the pitch comm. Bryson Stott said, "I had to turn it all the way up, could barely hear it." Rio Muto said he couldn't even hear his at all. So he was like, "I hope I'm pressing the right buttons because I might get crossed up right now." He couldn't hear it. So shout out Philly, man. That's fun.
It's a lot of fun. God, third oldest pitcher in MLB to throw the complete game 1-hit 12K starts. R.A. Dickey and Randy Johnson. How about that? How about that crew? Trev, there's a lot of standout guys, but I think a chunk of them landed on in Fuego.
Dirt Nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
And Fuego is brought to you by Corona, the official cerveza of Talkin' Baseball.
We're going to start out with a series where Jose Altuve goes 6 for 11, a double, a triple, and 3 homers against the Dodgers, 7 runs driven in. Harrison Bader, You and him together, that'd be some fun energy.
We'd ruin.
I don't know why.
We'd ruin people's nights.
He looks at me and is like, get out of here.
Yeah, you're old.
I have style. You don't have style. 3 for 9 in the series, but all 3 hits were homers, including a pinch hit game tying homer there for them. Mickey Moniak, my guy, 6 for 11 in the series, a double, a triple, and a homer. He's got an OPS of 1.2 with runners in scoring position this season. That's third best in all of baseball, with at least 135 plate appearances. For the week, for the year, for his life, George Springer, 12 for 28, 5 homers, 13 runs driven in. He became the 4th player aged 35 or later to have 15 homers and 10 stolen bases.
I love this list. This list is awesome.
Alfonso Soriano did it in 2013. Gary Sheffield did it in 2007. And Reggie Sanders in 2005.
Just dogs.
Speaking of dogs, Randy Rosarena. Woof, woof. That's my dog bark. I hate my dog's bark, by the way.
Good. Oh,
I
really?
can't stand it.
Oh, yeah, too small.
Hate it.
You're too small.
She's just the mix of she's just big enough where it's loud, but she still has the high pitch. I hate it. I'm trying to do the shaking thing. You ever have one of those?
Excuse me? Oh.
Shakes and makes a noise. She doesn't care about that.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to
Sounded like you were shaking your dog for a second, which we would have had to take a timeout. But no.
Only your babies. Don't shake your babies. That's not allowed. Randy Rosarena goes 9 for 26, 6 homers on the week. I think it was 5 straight games. 9 runs driven in. Trevor Story's been doing it. 12 for 25. Wow. 3 doubles, 3 homers, 10 runs driven on Friday. He recorded this 3rd career game with 4 hits, 1+ homers, and 4+ RBIs. His first time since May 19th, 2022 doing that. Willie Adames snaps for Willie. He had some hilarious quotes about his slow starts. He's like, everybody was worried. My mom was worried. My parents are worried. He goes, I was worried. And then he's like, but I kept telling everyone, chill out. It's going to be okay. So I was like, okay, were you worried?
Right.
Or are you chill? Who cares? Love you, Willie. 11 for 26, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 9 runs driven in. He had 3+ RBI in consecutive games on Saturday and Sunday. The first shortstop for the Giants to do that since another great name, Rich Aurelia.
Oh,
2000.
Stud.
Yeah.
Underrated.
How about the Martian, though, for the Yanks? Yeah. 11 for 26, a double, a triple, 2 homers and 6 runs driven in on the week. And here's some pitchers that shoved. Lucas Giolito didn't get mentioned on here. We'll just mention him again. Love him. Okay. Colin Ray. First, he has he went 6 2/3 with 1 hit, 1 earned run. He's got a first pitch strike rate of 70% on the season. That's 4th highest in all of baseball. JP Sears for the A's has been making some good starts here. He goes 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs in his starts. That's consecutive starts of 5 2/3 innings plus with no runs given up. It's the second time in his career and first time since May 22 where Sears has thrown back-to-back starts of that 5 2/3 innings pitched with no runs. Casey Mize for the Tigers. They just do everything well. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs since May 1st in a start. Yum. Ryan Nelson of your Snakes goes 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run. He carried a perfect game through 16 batters, Jake. He's 3-0 with a 2.01 in his last 5 starts. And then we mentioned this guy, and this is just snaps. Brandon Woodruff comes back, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks. He hadn't made a start in the major since September 23rd, 2023. And that was when the Brewers beat the Marlins to clinch a playoff berth. So shout out Brandon Woodruff coming back. Big Woo, as they call him. Ooh. And now, Jake, that was Who's in Fuego. Please tell me who is struggling.
Hey, man, you've been struggling lately. It's time to pick it up!
I've got good news for Miguel Vargas, who starts off the list. 3 for 41, 0.86 on fastballs away this season. That's the worst in MLB. Kind of bad news for him. I feel like a lot of pitchers throw a fastball away. So we're
one of their favorites.
We're gonna have to work on that one. Hey, we know what to target. And Miguel Vargas is joined by a collection of ballers. Jose Ramirez is in a 5 for 41. Oh, and Cleveland's lost their last 10? I'm shocked.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's crazy. That's insane. He's the most valuable guy ever. He's going to turn it around. I can basically promise everyone. Ryan McMahon, 5 for 40, 18 strikeouts in his last 44 plate appearances. That's the most in MLB. Just tanking his value to get traded to the Yankees, I guess. Marcell Ozuna, 6 for 42. The Big Bear, no RBIs since June 21st. Hasn't homered since June 13th. I think he's a little banged up. I wonder.
Oh, the Braves are 9 games back of a wild card.
Let's get him. People keep linking him in Texas to go be their DH. That would be interesting. Jackson Merrill rounds out the crew. So, okay. J-Ram, McMahon, Ozuna, Jackson Merrill in an 8 for 46 right now. And he's chasing. He's
also rolling balls over. I don't know. I watched a couple of his at-bats this weekend. Hey, Padres blogger, why don't you tell me what's going on there? It looks like he's just a little quick on the draw there. Little hips going a little too fast for me.
Stay in. Keep that shoulder in.
Yeah.
Was I Googling was I YouTubing softball power swings this weekend? I was.
Yes, you were.
The IL, as we continue to lower everyone's mood before picking it up. Joey Butts, Jose Budo, is going on the IL for the New York Mets. Clark Schmidt, as I mentioned, for the Yankees. Tommy John out for this year, out for next year. Yikes. Jameson Taillon with a right calf, minimum of 6 weeks for the Cubs. That's an interesting development. Trevor Williams, our guy, he's got some right elbow stuff going on right now. Andres Jimenez for Toronto, sprained that left ankle. That was a funky one. Gary Sanchez with a sprained right knee. Pavin Smith, man. Right oblique. Trev, get the DM going. Lane Thomas with some plantar fasciitis. And then there's a handful of relief arms on here, too. The good news is, as life goes, some go on the IL, some come off the IL. Graham Ashcraft and Noelvi Marte for Cincinnati. Reese Olson, we mentioned him for Detroit. Tyler O'Neill, let's go for Baltimore. Good Fitz McGee. Corbin Carroll, that's good. Matt Chapman, that's good. Wyatt Langford, that's good. Brandon Woodruff, that's great. I am absolutely loving this. A few more relievers. Ryan Burr, Mason Thompson, sure. Keibert Ruiz for the Nationals. Zach Galoff, come on, go Doors. That's your guy, Trev. Let's start off everyone's week the right way.
Awards!
Awards are brought to us by the DraftKings Sportsbook. Baseball is here, people, and get in on the action with our friends at DraftKings. If you got a lean on one, right now, new customers who bet just $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Bet a homer. Why not? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use our promo code JMBaseball. Bet just $5 on any wager. Get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code JMBaseball only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Trev?
My award is, hey, yo, Unc, you need to chill.
Go get him.
I just learned like what Unc meant not too long ago because someone called me Unc. It basically means an old head, but not too old. You're not like Gramps.
Correct.
You're Unc.
Yeah.
You're just outside of like being young and cool.
Unc is if there's a family party and the kids are like shooting hoops, Unc walks over to the court and like pulls up his pants before he shoots. That's Unc.
Is that what Unc means? I thought Unc was just like, you're just like a little outside of like me. Like I'm at the Unc age, 39 years old.
Joe's McFly is Unc. You're not
like
Unc.
Nobody looks at me and is like, that guy's cool. Like I
oh man.
It's
just gonna get emotional.
I remember like, back in the day, like you'd walk somewhere and like, maybe you'd see a chick be like,
maybe
they'll tilt the head a little bit. I don't ever get that anymore.
No.
Even when the days I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm looking pretty good there. Skins popping, good outfit. Nah, nothing.
This is going to blow your mind. Some of us never really had that effect.
Anyways, Unk, chill out a little bit. That's the award. There's a few things like, have happened in baseball. And if you've ever listened or watched a baseball game, you hear it all the time from broadcasters. I really try not to be that way because it bothers me. Guys, it's just back in my day, this is the way it's been, should be this way all the time. I can't stand it because look, the game is always evolving and you have to keep up with the times. Okay. Like there's reasons for things. You might not like them. You might not have ever done them. So you don't understand them, which I think is the main problem here. But you have to like learn these things and what they mean, or else like the game's going to pass you by and you just sound outdated. Right. I think you're past Unk status. You're old man yelling at cloud status, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that, the Unks need to chill out about. Number one, I think we talk about this all the time. Some things like new age things, when they go wrong, just look so bad. And that's why they get like a bad rep. For instance, like the shift, okay, like defensive shifts, when we used to be able to really do them and a guy would like say we're shifting a left-hander, everybody's on the right side of second base and the third baseman is playing shortstop and a lefty like punched one down the third baseline and people like oh my gosh, like if we were just playing traditional defense, like that's a ground ball. But truly what the numbers would say is you're saving way more hits than you're giving up. It's just the ones that get by look so bad. That's why people get so mad about it. But the reason teams do it is because they're saving more hits than not doing it. That's why they still really try to shift, even though we've put some rules against it. Like they're still doing it. They're positioning guys there because they're going to save more hits than give up hits. It still looks bad. I find myself even thinking sometimes like, what are we doing here? For instance, the Twins rarely play like traditional double play depth. Like in fact, I don't think they really ever do. There'll be one guy in the non-pool side will be like kind of traditional double play depth. And like Carlos Correa, for instance, will just be like in the hole at shortstop. Like, how are you ever going to get to turn double play? And they barely do. Right. But like they've decided that that's going to give them more outs. They don't want to give up that, the whole, whatever it is. My whole point in all that is saying when a hit goes through a shift, it looks bad, but really we're saving more hits. So chill out. The real thing I want to talk about here is now Mike Petriello, who is like a great sports writer, had an article about the one knee catching trend, which we can't even really call it a trend. It's been going on for quite some time. And in fact, Jake, 95% of the time this year in the big leagues, guys are catching with one knee down. So it's not a trend. It is, in fact, like that is happening, and it's going to continue to get even more that way. Austin Barnes was a holdout. He was at 23% of the time. The Dodgers released him. He's now in the minor leagues with the Giants. The only guy that's like not in the 90% of the time, Kyle Higashioka. 41% of the time. That's almost 4 times the amount that he did last year. I'm quoting a lot of things from the article. If you want to read it, it's on MLB.com. But it's out like a week now, so I don't feel too bad of going over it. So when you watch a game, and I actually saw this with your Yankees, it was Ben Rice, who I didn't know was a catcher.
Oh, yeah.
Did not know that. I just didn't think that. He like let a ball go, pass ball, and I was texting Joe's, and he was so mad about it. But that got me started on this whole thing. Because I think that's this is another instance of like when things look bad, they look really bad. Like when a guy's on one knee and doesn't block a ball, the old heads go absolutely insane with it. You hear it on every single broadcast. I might even have been, I don't know if I've said anything about it. I'm not really sure, but I've definitely thought it. I'm like, oh man, like if you were just like we're in a traditional stance, you'd be able to block that ball. Turns out the numbers do not support that. Pass balls and wild pitches in 2025, where 95% of the time guys are on one knee, are at the same levels as they were in 1960 and their lowest rate since 1981. So guys are blocking the ball just fine and maybe even better than they were when they're on two knees. And there's other stuff that's just supports this, and it's the reason it's going to stay. I thought there's a quote in here about from Stephen Vogt saying it's just so much easier on guys. Like they're going to be able to catch more because it's easier on their knees and their back. It's just like it's a better position to put yourself in than the traditional squat. So he says that alone right there should have people excited about it. It's going to keep guys healthier. But there's some really crazy stats I want to read, then I'll kind of let you go. So this is interesting, and this is a good way to think about it. Jerry Weinstein from @JWanCatching put out a tweet. He goes, take pop-ups, tag plays, bunt plays, etc. out of the equation and break down the percentages of the defensive events that happen most often for catchers. And you're looking at receiving, blocking, and throwing. Of those, receiving fills up 90% of the bucket, blocking 6%, and throwing 1% of the time. So receiving is what they're really trying to go after here. You know, that's the reason they started this trend, which I believe it was a Yankees coach.
Yeah, Yankees
well.
catching coach Tanner Swanson created this.
Yeah. So that's what they're trying to do. And basically what that tweet is saying is like the majority of catching is receiving. And you're trying to steal some strikes. That's why they're doing it. That's why this is going to continue. Since 2020 through Wednesday, catchers in a knee-down stance have been worth 169 positive fielding runs, while those with both knees up are negative 152 runs. So this is not going anywhere. And then this is kind of the last quote I want to give, and then I'll kind of wrap it up here. Kevin Cash talks about like why they really want to do it. When you take a 1-1 pitch and help turn that pitch into a strike as opposed to a ball, that's way more valuable doing that 3 times than a ball getting by you to advance a guy from first to second. So just, think about that the way they're valuing, in these are traditional stats too that you can look up. The difference between a 2-1 count and a 1-2 count is basically what he's saying. And those swing counts, a 1-1 counts a swing count. 1-2, 2-1, go look at the batting average. If that's what you're into, go look at the batting average, the difference in those 2 counts. I mean, that's why they're trying to steal strikes. So all this to say, you got to stop complaining about some of the new things in baseball because the numbers truly do support them. And like, just because it's something that you did or the game you saw back in the day doesn't mean it's necessarily right. Like this isn't going anywhere. So Unc, relax a little bit.
Yeah. As you noted, this was a Yankee thing. So I've seen the development of this. And yeah, Higgy was allowed to not do it because his pitch framing was so good. Higgy was a top percentage pitch framer, so they kind of just let him ride, and he didn't like it. That I guess for me, like, the answer is correct. Everything you said is correct. And it's the part that frustrates me is it's stealing strikes. That like the fact that's part of a game is kind of dumb, and it's part of the reason Alejandro Kirk is such a good pitch framer is because with his shorter body, he's already lower, that it's like we're tricking umps, which I don't love how much of that is the strategy of the game, but it clearly is. And those big at-bats and those big moments, it's very much worth stealing a strike. And you steal 10 a game, and that's going to be much more valuable than your 3 at bats as the catcher in moments that matter. That, yeah, it all makes sense. There's parts of me that still don't love it, like the fact that it is formed from stealing strikes. Like I don't love that that's the formation. And I think the optics.
Just stop saying stealing strikes, because I feel like people don't like stealing. It's like you're getting more strikes called.
You're tricking the ump.
You're not tricking the ump because they know everything that's going on.
But isn't that the whole point?
You're just presenting it better to the umpire.
Isn't that the whole point of why we're saying that this is a good thing?
But here's the thing. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, and let's just keep rolling on this.
Good.
Sat down and was having a meal with Joe Mauer.
Who?
When I was in Minnesota, and we were talking about this. And it was just one of those things where, like, a lot of these new age things people are so scared of, but they've been going on in the game forever. He's like, he goes, I had a big body. So when I was behind the plate, He goes, when I would try, instead of taking, his glove down and going up and trying to steal the low strike, he goes, that wasn't really a thing. He goes, I had hands. I could do it. I had strong hands. His thing was, he said he'd set up, and if the ball, let's say I'm going this way, if the ball was going to be over here, instead of bringing his glove there, he'd bring his whole body there. So it looked like he caught it right in the middle of his body instead of reaching for it or moving his arm. He said he would do it really slightly. He couldn't do it fast because they'd notice it. But if he did it slowly enough and kind of like timed it right, that was his way to steal strikes. Yeah. So I don't know. It's been going on for a long time. But again, this isn't going anywhere. So there's just some things. I think my overall point here is, guys, you can't hate on the game so much. Like, learn and understand it before you just completely criticize it.
Yeah. I think whenever we see something new, a lot of people get freaked out by it. And I'll say, and again, I don't know if there's an answer. The only part of it that's really tough is when you see it's a pitch that gets spiked. So again, you're back to the pitcher. Like, don't do that. But when they're in that squat and it's to their backhand side, their only chance is to pick it clean. Which traditionally we have the image of the catcher in our, like, throw your body around. Like that used to be the signature play, right? Like, you picture the catcher flying around, getting their chest down to keep it in front of them. They don't even have the option for that. Not that a lot of guys were great at that anyways, and that kind of goes to all the data and information you have. It is just a weird feeling as a sports fan.
It just looks bad, but the numbers don't support that it's any worse.
Exactly. And I guess where I would want to go is, like, should it be different for pitchers with different pitch mixes or repertoires? Like, if you have a guy that throws a splitter and sometimes they yank it, okay, should you maybe not be in the full squat then? Because there's a chance they could yank that pitch that gets past you. I guess I just think with a lot of the new information we get, there can be more layers to it that I'm interested to see. But
it'll continue to grow for sure.
For not stealing strikes, for presenting strikes better, it's an absolute no-brainer. And that's why, dude, you watch every game. If you asked any new baseball fan and be like, hey, dude, how does a catcher catch a ball? You see it at spring training. They just bring it back to the middle.
Bring back knee savers. That's what I want.
Maybe my most controversial take all time is give them a bucket. Like, if we're trying to save catchers' knees, what are we doing?
Have you ever had knee savers? Have you ever wore gear with knee savers?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But nobody would ever wear it because it was like, you're soft. I want to say Mauer tried him out for a little bit. Kurt Suzuki was like, that was never going to happen with him. That's an old school catcher right there.
I still didn't even like him. I think my knees have zero cartilage in them, so it was always tough to catch. And my calves are so thick that, like, they just didn't sit right. Okay. Got personal at the end here. Go get those unks, Trev. You're not unk. You're still turning heads in the street, dude.
I'm not doing that, but I'm at least understanding the game of baseball or trying to do it.
You're turning heads. I get the 28-year-old dude on the subway who kind of looks at me like, wait, I think that's the John Boy guy. So that's what I've got.
Yes, I get the young guys still know us from their phones.
We got it, baby. Holy smokes. Trev, my award, and I think it's an award I've run annually, is one in the hand is better than two in the bush. Just a funny phrase for me. And I think it means that just having one is more valuable than looking at two. It doesn't really apply to the award. I just think it's a funny phrase in our society. And it's a play on the word bush. Because, Trev, our guy PCA gets in front of the cameras yesterday for Sunday Night Baseball, and he's like, get Seiya to the All-Star game. And he's right. Leading the league in RBI, has been one of the better hitters the past 3 years now. It's crazy where his stats have just landed and who he is for the Cubs and how good they are. That, yes, if we didn't have the every team all-star thing, like, Seiya Suzuki's an all-star. That's a no-brainer. So hopefully that does happen. He's not even the number one excluded guy. And dude, we have done this so much and it's starting to blow my mind. Michael Busch is maybe the best first baseman in baseball. He had a 3-homer game on Friday. This weekend, Trev, he went 9 for 12. 2 doubles, 4 homers, 6 RBI, 6 runs. That's a 2.72 OPS over the weekend. He has the highest OPS of all Major League Baseball first basemen. Hey, Trev, has Pete Alonso had a good first half?
Yes.
Busch has a better OPS. Freddie Freeman, Busch is ahead of him. Jonathan Aranda, whoever you want, this guy's number one. And we talk about him as he's like Cubs number player 6. Like, and I guess if I really want to do 2 in the Busch, they traded 2 prospects for Busch, so maybe that could be my spin zone. I don't know, man. I just think Michael Busch has become like the Cubs have a nice like lefty swinging first baseman. But that outfield's crazy. Dansby's hot like Trev. Michael Busch is a 3.4 WAR, 297, 384, a 566 slug. 970 OPS. That's rare air. And this guy doesn't get talked about enough. So I'm trying.
Who did they get traded for?
I believe it was Zaire Hope.
They just had no room for this guy.
Dodgers 40-manned him.
Yes.
They got real prospects back. Jackson Ferris and Zaire Hope. But still, he's like, if we just went numbies, he would be the National League starting first baseman for the All-Star game.
Weighted runs created plus. He's first of any first baseman for a 170. The next closest to him is 160, and that's Pete Alonso. It's going off, man.
Like, how much has Pete been discussed this year? How much has Michael Busch been discussed this year? And that's what we do.
That's what we do.
God.
Zaire Hope?
Yeah, kind of sick name, right?
It is. I mean, yes.
And the Dodgers traded for him. So it still sketches me out. Like, there's still a couple years when we're going to see one of those dudes.
I don't think Zaire Hope, is he a position player?
Let's double check. I know one's
Outfield
a
prospect.
Top 100, 876 OPS at high A this year.
Okay.
So
try doing 970 at the big league level. That's all I'm saying.
Little different. And that's what we are. Built just a little different. Diesel won today. We missed Friday's episode. Kershaw 3,000 Ks. We didn't even... Oh, Dodger fan Trev's going to hear about that. We love you guys. See you Wednesday.
Jake sucks.
All-star
3,000 Ks. Jim Wolf, my good buddy, called it. Rung him up right there.
Only 4 lefties all time.
When they took the rubber out of the mound and gave it to him, and they gave it to him, it almost fell. Imagine if he dropped the rubber on his foot.
The rubber's way too big.
Yeah. All-star Clayton Kershaw.